Hello, Meoni here, and welcome back to another housing video for Final Fantasy XIV. It turns out there's still a couple of things that I haven't looked at yet that were added in recent patches, and specifically today the used Banquet table is one that I've not looked at, added to the game in patch 5.2. If you ever have seen a medieval themed movie or Game of Thrones or something, you've probably seen Banquet tables much like this one demonstrated today. You could be forgiven like I was for thinking this was an outdoors picnic table, which looks pretty similar, and we have these in parks all across the UK, and is a level 80 basic craft carpenter recipe. It uses 4 lignum vitae lumber, 4 white oak lumber, and 2 upland wheat to make this. These are then designed to be lined up in your housing space to give the illusion of an actual banquet hall. As far as I know, this is the only banquet table we have of its type in the game. It has this rustic design with worn edges where the varnish is worn away from both people sitting at the pews or from dragging dishes and cutlery across the table's surface. They have done a pretty good job with how worn it actually looks, and the grain effect on the texture looks pretty good in this light colour they've gone for as default. They've also got all of these knots to give extra effect and to give it some depth. The rivets also look pretty great, sort of bolting the surface to the rest of it. I remember seeing some refurbished tables in real life with big metal bolts through the surface like this that were made from old railway sleepers to actually make a top of a table, adding to that rough aesthetic. A lot of the time we get furniture in the game that looks pretty pristine and untouched, so it's actually nice to see something a little more battered get added to the game, something that we can actually use and looks like it's actually been used. The item is dyeable, so we can put this in pretty much any colour your heart desires, each one looking battered and following the same grain. I think it personally looks good in darker colours. The dark browns make the wood look different types of wood, especially with the dark brown here looking like oak. Some of the more vibrant colours, however, in my opinion, make it look like it was painted by a moron. They go out to one of these arts fairs, they buy a really old expensive table, and then they decide to paint it pink. You know the type of people I'm talking about. I really like this item. It's easy enough to make and actually sells very well on the market board, so it's a good gil earner if you have an 80 carpenter. If you're looking to recreate a medieval banquet hall, there's no better place to start, I think. All you need now is some candelabra and some dishes and you're good. Either way, let me know if you've used this item in your own housing designs below, and I'll see you all next time.